There's a fine line between a company with a strong sense of history and one that's maybe getting a little bit stuffy. Lately, Maserati's been trending toward that latter category, but that all changes today with this. It's the MC20. It's Maserati's first new supercar in over 16 years, and it's a strong shot of modernity for a company in desperate need of something fresh and new. Let's take a closer look. That last supercar was 2004's Maserati MC12, and while the names are certainly similar, beyond the Trident logo on the nose, there's really not a lot shared here. The MC12 existed almost purely as a homologation exercise to get Maserati back into racing, which it did quite successfully, winning numerous endurance races and FIA GT championships. That car was built on a Ferrari Enzo monocoque chassis and shared much of the drivetrain. It was really just the body that was bespoke, and what a body it was. The MC20 is a very different thing, designed and engineered in-house, and frankly, a lot more demure than what came before. It has an understated modern supercar look to it, with numerous styling cues that wouldn't look out of place on a Ferrari or a Lotus, for example. But despite that, I confess I'm quite fond of the thing. It's a bit plain, yes, especially compared to the MC12, but there's also something vaguely futuristic about it, with really only that gaping nose giving a link back to other Maseratis on the road. Well, that and the cheeky trident cut into the rear deck lid, which is not my favorite styling cue if I'm being honest. Maserati says the look of the car is a marriage of artistic design and aerodynamic sensibilities, and the company has thoughtfully color-coded those different elements. The parts of the car that are white, that's where the designers made the final call. The darker parts along the bottom, those were all driven by efficiency and performance. That white, by the way, is called Bianco Audace, or white boldness, which Maserati says was designed to evoke the gleam of quarried marble struck by the light of a Mediterranean sunset. It is, regardless, a bold choice after Labor Day. The body of the car was designed to be simple and clean, with no giant wing hanging off the back or splitter protruding from the front. Vents and intakes are kept to a minimum, with the most aggressive visual component, that rear diffuser, cloaked in raw carbon fiber. All of that wraps a custom carbon monocoque developed with racecar chassis experts Dallara. Interestingly, the chassis was designed to support 3 versions. First is the coupe you see here, while a retractable hardtop Spider flavor is coming next. The third flavor will be electric, making room for batteries in the same basic layout, with only the layup of the carbon filaments changing. No ETA on that, though. For the initial coupe, we'll get a fairly traditional 90-degree twin-turbo 3-liter V6 making 621 horsepower. Maserati says this engine, called Nettuno, named after a certain trident-wielding god, is fully new, and I can't help thinking the engineers were targeting that power figure. That's exactly the same power output as the MC12, though it needed twice the cylinders and the displacement to do it. While forced induction is the major driver of that increase in relative output, Maserati also credits what it calls Maserati twin combustion, a sort of pre-combustion chamber that helps for more efficient combustion within the engine. Power gets to the rear wheels through an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission and a mechanical locking rear differential. Weight of the entire package is 3,306 pounds, which Maserati says gives it a best-in-class power-to-weight ratio. Suspension is dual wishbone front and rear, with a semi-virtual steering layout designed to reduce scrub angle and increase the steering feel and the response. Brakes are Brembo carbon ceramic with 6 pistons at the front and 4 at the rear. The interior of the MC20, accessed via doors that open the right way, strikes a blend between race-focused minimalism and the needs of day-to-day motoring. This is best seen on the steering wheel, which the marketing release says features only essential buttons and controls. Somehow, launch control and cruise control made the cut. The mode dial, however, was relegated to the center console. Dual 10-inch displays serve as gauge cluster and infotainment system powered by Android Automotive, like on the new Polestar 2. This software will give easy access to all of your smart home needs, while also providing a clean, simple user interface, here redubbed as Maserati Touch Control Plus MIA. MIA, by the way, is Maserati's intelligent assistant, because we all need another voice control system in our lives right now. Maserati promises almost 150 liters of storage, or 5.3 cubic feet, spread across both a trunk and a frunk, a big step up from the MC12, which didn't even have a trunk. Yet another sign that the MC20 is a very different car, something intended for daily use, something that'll be as good to drive on the road as it is on the track. And the track is an important part of this car because Maserati says this is what will bring the brand back to racing, though they're not saying where or when. They are saying, though, that this car will start at $210,000 and will be available starting toward the third or fourth quarter of next year. I'm glad it's not too much farther away because waiting 16 years is plenty long enough.